Still seeing it tick up here a bit. I think let's jump into it for the sake of time. So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. My name is Aaron Worley. I'm Zayo's Vice President of Technology, and I'd like to welcome everyone to Zayo's Waves on Demand webinar. I'm looking forward to a great discussion by industry experts on a really exciting topic. So I'd like to kick things off by introducing our panelists here. Starting from the left, we have Adam Janata, who's the Senior Director of Business Development at Equinix. Despite the lack of gray hair, Adam has decades in the industry. He's focused on automated delivery of connectivity services and bandwidth on demand applications at both Yipes and Equinix. He's widely regarded as industry subject matter expert, and thanks to his direct engagement with carriers, enterprises, and service providers leveraging Equinix's services, he offers a unique perspective on the Waves on Demand offering from Zayo. Anna Claiborne, here in the center, is Zayo's SVP of Product Management. Anna is a serial entrepreneur, coding ninja, and one of the industry's foremost experts in network automation. She is charged with enabling Zayo's network as a service offering, and we are thrilled to have her join us here at Zayo and, of course, on the webinar. Last but not least, Chaz Kramer. He's Vice President of Product, supporting our fiber and transport businesses. Chaz leads Zayo's product organization responsible for the productization and rollout of our Waves on Demand offering. Chaz offers an expert level understanding of not just the industry landscape, but also the customer needs for fiber and wavelength services. Chaz and I work closely together, where he also plays a critical role in setting Zayo's network strategy. So this is an awesome group. I think it's going to be a great conversation. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Before we get started, I just want to take a minute to frame up just what wavelength services are and how Zayo delivers them over our network. For those that aren't aware, wavelength services are the typical go-to for secure, high-capacity, low-latency, dedicated bandwidth and point-to-point configurations. It's the most cost-effective, high-performance solution for high-bandwidth applications. However, our customers also leverage wavelengths where latency or route requirements exist. So let's look at Zayo's network and see how we deliver these services. So hopefully everyone's familiar with Zayo's expansive network. It's 142,000 route miles, 17 million fiber miles, thousands of on-net buildings, data centers, and rockstar team members. On top of that physical infrastructure is Zayo's high-capacity wavelength network serving both long-haul and metro applications. Now, over the past couple of years, we've made significant investments into our network's capacity, capability, and automation. Our product and engineering teams have just been crushing it every day to build out a network that supports the needs of our bandwidth-hungry customers. You'll see the expansive 400 gig client service capability here in North America and in Europe here on this slide. This network is also the foundation for our Tier 1 IP backbone and the network supporting our topic of the day, Waves on Demand. So with that, Chaz, would you mind help building on this background and share how our customers are utilizing Zayo's wavelength services to solve their needs and enable their business?
Yeah, I will, Aaron, and once again, thanks for the kind intro, and I am very appreciative to be here with Anna and Adam as well too, and then kind of going into the applications that you talked about, Aaron. I think everybody on this call probably has their own specific use case, their overall need, but I think it kind of also tells you that most applications are kind of wide ranging, but they all center around core requirements, right? You need latency sensitive options, you need reliable options as well, and then you need at least a wavelength service that can expand and grow as your business requirements also expand too. So whether you're just providing services to the cloud, you're backing up your data. If you need some high performance compute connectivity as well too, those are all there too. And what Waves kind of on demand really does is, we're really trying to think about inverting at least the planning process too, where, a lot of times when we talk about Waves on Demand services, it comes with, more of an extensive and kind of planning need. What we're trying to focus on, at least with our on-demand offering, is inverting that planning period. So if you have explosive growth to the cloud, you can actually work with Zayo to grow rapidly with your business requirements too. If you have a fault or you need a kind of like a disaster recovery path as well, because your current primary or maybe even your diverse provider is down, a Waves on Demand offering also does that too. And then there's additional applications too. We can talk about content distribution, telehealth, one-time requirements for occasional use. The lists kind of go on and on, but when we look at our overall Waves on Demand offering, it's really leveraging Zayo's world-class network and continuing to provide additional value across that platform.
Awesome. So, ton of application across a variety of industries. If I could get you to just expand a bit further, we've rolled out Waves on Demand across 9 routes so far. Would you mind, talking us through just how it improves, the customer experience, where we're at now, where we're going, and anything else we need to know about the Waves on Demand offering?
Yeah, can we actually go back to the network slide? Because to be honest, if I'm talking to other people and I'm not talking about the network first, I'm not doing my job. If you look at that network map, and I'm going to kind of tout Zayo's horn a little bit here too, is one of the most extensive network maps in the US. Not only does it hit all kind of core requirements for where people want to go, it has diverse options, it has diverse options as well. It has unique paths. It has paths that are designed for low latency as well too. And it's a network that we're also like continuously investing in too. There's routes in there that are unique to Zayo that we've built ourselves that are meant for the ecosystem. So it's a network that is evolving to our customer needs. And like I kind of mentioned before, it's doubling down on our network to make it more usable and accessible to everyone. And that's what Waves on Demand is. With this network, we also have very clear insight to where customers want to go, what are the big hubs, what are the core routes, and then really taking that knowledge and saying, where do we want to invest and put our resources to offering a Waves on Demand offering too. So like what you see here for these core routes, everyone might look at them and say like, oh yeah, that route isn't my network. That's intentional, right? Because we are picking routes that everyone needs the most. And you're going to see a coast-to-coast route. You're going to see, well, essentially 2 coast-to-coast routes, right? And then you're going to see essentially a bridge kind of going up and down as well too. And as we think about kind of going into our phase 2, phase 3 type of offering, all you're going to see is, at least for this network map, more of those routes turning orange where you are going to need your baseline requirements or maybe your diverse requirements going forward too.
Yeah, and just speaking from a customer perspective, because prior to joining Zayo, I was a customer of Zayo, and there's so much time and energy that goes in from a customer perspective to planning your network and where you're going to and predicting where future capacity demands are going to be. And having the option to not have to devote all that time and energy and almost like, using your crystal ball into, what are my customers going to be doing in the next 3 months, 6 months so that I can capacity plan. Instead, you can actually do this real time now and turn up capacity when you need it, exactly where you need it. And that's just something phenomenal from a time saving standpoint, because you're no longer guessing. You're actually just getting the capacity where you need it and where your customers are requiring it. So to me, that's a huge advantage for Waves on Demand that just doesn't exist anywhere else.
Or worse off, being caught on your heels and needing the capacity and not being able to get it in time, right? That's also.
Oh yeah. That's the worst possible scenario, is when you're successful as a business and you are being wildly successful, so much so that you need more bandwidth, and it's the one thing that you can't get in time, because then all of a sudden your wild success turns into unhappy customers. So this is like, this is truly can be a huge saving grace for a lot of people.
Awesome. So Chaz, you want to walk us through a bit of, where we're at today, how it works, what the customer experience looks like and where we're going?
Yeah, do we want to say that for the demo, Aaron? I'm sorry for
Yeah,
almost kind of going through like how the customer experience would work too, and it might be worthwhile too. But I will say that at least we're calling out our A and Z locations. Like I said before, we picked the core routes and the core island locations that a lot of our customers have bandwidth requirements today. Adam is here because, as most people can tell, we're going to Equinix facilities because that is a lot of where the internet lives today, and that's where a lot of core connectivity and eyeballs touch as well too. So we have a core 8 routes right now, along with Equinix's kind of cross-connect platform as well, and broader ecosystem allows us to interconnect with even more facilities as well too. And then what we also have here, at least in terms of what's coming next, is an additional list of 6 routes we have. And once again, it's just an extension of where we know customers need to go, how we can further this capability out too, because there's a lot of conviction that this is, although different, it is something that if we start thinking about how we can change at least the industry, where we need to continue to invest our time and effort, because right now, if I'm being frank, service delivery is a challenge for everybody in the industry, and we're doing something to kind of meet that head on and address that problem, and not only address it with doubling down on the same processes, but rethinking about the entire kind of delivery cycle altogether.
Yeah, completely agree. And I'd even comment that the delivery or the ordering and delivery expectations of our customers have changed, right? If you think about how people order from places like Amazon today, in many cases they're just looking for that simple experience and confidence that things are going to be delivered when they need them. And that's now translating into other industries. And I think this is Zayo's attempt to try to provide that same sort of experience with our wavelength services. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second, and I'd like to bring Adam into the conversation if I could. So Adam, you've got a ton of experience with automated delivery of connectivity with Equinix's Fabric. Would you mind just taking a minute and share what your take is on the solution and possible applications for Waves on Demand?
Absolutely. No, thank you for having me. And Equinix is looking to empower digital leaders, and fast tracking the digital advantage is core of our business, where we can help our customers get access to whatever infrastructure that they are looking for. I think that, as you mentioned, cloud consumption as well as just simple delivery of goods to your home have changed our expectations, that we want services and goods to be delivered instantly if possible. And so we are excited to participate in this webinar and participate in this solution through the selection of our sites, where you're really helping our customers, Equinix's customers, get that digital advantage faster. They can fast track their connectivity, whether it's cloud services or emergency situations where they have to augment their network, or as Anna mentioned, their success is causing them pain. Or for example, you have a global pandemic and everybody works from home, and all of a sudden you need 100 gig waves to connect your user base back to your home office. There's vast number of examples. So I think that we as Equinix are fortunate to sit in this position where we have thousands of customers and thousands of service providers, and we see the necessity of a solution like this. So I think it's, as you said, I applaud you for being the pioneers in delivering fast services where historically our customers experience delays. We see this all the time. And I think you mentioned a little bit about our Equinix Fabric. I think it's worth to note that this is a complementary service. This is not a Fabric-like service. Wavelengths on demand are dedicated and point-to-point. Whereas Fabric is catered to a smaller value or smaller bandwidth capacity. It's not deemed to be 100 gig capable at the moment. So again, very complementary, very exciting for collective customer base, and we're excited that we can participate in this first lineup of 10 sites, or 8 sites maybe it was.
Well, thanks for that, Adam. And I do want to double click on the comment about the waves on demand being complementary. I think there's probably a lot of people that were signed up for this webinar that were thinking, oh man, this is, direct competition with Equinix's fabric. But, when you think about their two solutions, they're solving two different needs, right? And I think between the two solutions, Equinix's fabric and Zayo's waves on demand, we're solving for the full range of connectivity and bandwidth needs between the data centers now. So,
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
a great win for our mutual customers.
It doesn't make sense to consume unnecessary ports on boxes and translate bits when they only go point to point or in specific a pair of two locations, right? So when you're sending traffic at those speeds, we see quite often customers migrating from services like Internet Exchange, where they're peering with variety of endpoints, and once they get to a certain capacity of multi-10 or multi-100 gig, they migrate to a PNI. So to me, this is an evolutionary step that makes total sense. And again, we want to make sure that our customers recognize value of the services we deliver and to the full extent.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Anna, let's get your take. What is waves on demand solving for in the industry? And in your mind, how is it improving the customer experience? And you mentioned you played the role of a customer of Zayo before. What problems do you see it solving?
Yeah, didn't just play the role. I lived it. I lived the pain. I lived all these things. So one of the most interesting things I think during the pandemic is that it taught us all about the global supply chains and about how those could be very impactful to anything that we wanted to do, whether it was get toilet paper or order a wave. And so one of the things that I learned is that, there was a lot of equipment manufacturers in the wave platform space that were having shortages, and this caused a lot of holdups. So what that does is it really speaks to the fragility of these long provisioning processes, when everything is on demand and providers are getting equipment and installing it and doing these things. It is a process with a lot of dependencies. So having something like waves on demand where the equipment is already provisioned, everything's already provisioned, and all you're doing is clicking that button to make it happen, didn't just make a difference, or wouldn't have just made a difference for during the pandemic. It's going to make a difference for any event that comes up in the future. And supply chain disruptions, we've already seen several of those happen since the pandemic. The world is constantly changing. New technologies are coming about, like AI, all the time and eating up every single NVIDIA chip that exists. That didn't particularly impact waves, but it impacted other places in the supply chain. So the difference that this is going to make going forward is going to be huge for customers in terms of that, you're no longer going to be able to blame the network. It's not going to be we can't get network capacity. No, now you can truly get it when you need it. And, at least for once, the fault is going to be elsewhere, which is a relief to all the network engineers in the room. You'll be able to safely have done your part to support your huge and growing customer base. And for once, people will be cheering on the network rather than blaming it. One of the other really great things about the waves on demand is that it's available to everyone. This isn't available to a select subset of customers. It's not a beta. It's not all these things that have been so typically dangled in front of people. Go to Transact, order a wave, do it right now. Go get a 100 gig wave. I know everybody out there needs one, so just go do it. And right now it's only available in select locations, but those are going to keep expanding. That's the only limitation, is just where it's available. And thankfully, that's something that we can improve on and build on over time. And then just, and I already kind of mentioned this, so I don't want to harp on it too much, but there is a lot of pain and effort that goes into network planning and provisioning. And any way that you can reduce that goes back into time that your engineers can spend doing other more meaningful things, like improving the network in other ways, improving the service for your customers in general, whatever your application is, whether that's software or healthcare or anything. You can devote that time to other things. And it's not just that planning and provisioning time, but it's the time that you spend talking to sales, negotiating wave pricing, going back and forth during the provisioning process, doing provisioning calls. All of these things that are typically very long tail and take up a lot of time, you're getting that time back to focus on your core business, which is something that you just can't really put a dollar amount on.
Awesome. There's something that comes to mind, and maybe this is, me tooting Zayo's horn a little bit here, but open up Chaz and Anna. I believe there are a few players in the industry that are actually capable of providing, this experience today. Would you guys agree, and why is that?
I'm gonna say hands down that there's nobody else that can do this, and I would challenge anybody else to go try it. Because there's very, like, waves are they have very unique characteristics from a network perspective, in that it's a guaranteed path, guaranteed latency, and that fulfills a very, like, if you need a wave, you need a wave. You don't need something else. You need that traffic, that network traffic going over a particular path. You need it delivered in a particular time frame, and there's no substitutions or exceptions. And then also, delivering something quickly is a whole nother set of challenges. So yeah, I'm going to say that Zayo is a bit of a unicorn in this respect.
I'll also add too, if we go back to one of the maps you show here where we made the investment, right, showing how we modernized the network from a core energy capability perspective too. I mean, I don't think that there's anyone who's made the level of investment that Zayo has in our network to build out that much scale and that much coherency across a single or dual platform network too.
I agree.
Yeah, and again, just to add from our perspective, we are excited when we see innovation such as this, because it does enable and solve a problem for a customer base that we see every day. So it's good to be a pioneer, but it's not easy, right? That's why I think, Aaron, you mentioned that you haven't seen that elsewhere.
Right. I guess to Anna's earlier comment, this isn't beta. This actually works. Go on transact order wave. Certainly recommend that as well. But do want to show everybody that this isn't fluff here or marketing fluff. This is something live today. So if you guys are good, let's jump into a demo. I'm going to reshare here again. And Chaz, Anna, would you guys mind walking us through what we're seeing here? And for everyone at home, this is a pre-recorded demo just for the sake of time. Made some cuts out of the the waiting periods in between. But Chaz and Anna will walk us through what we're seeing. So with that, I'm gonna hit play here and turn over to you guys.
Yeah, then I'll give at least the background here. So what you're seeing right now is this is the portal. This is under actually a Zayo test account right now. So don't worry, no one here is actually going to be forced by a wave, but you'll kind of toggle over your the overall Wavelengths service offering. You'll go to, you'll see your selections all the way down. We have point-to-point, diverse, protected, private, ULL. We'll click on the point-to-point service. And then as you kind of go into that A and Z location, you're actually going to see a little button that says, like, what is my delivery interval? And if you click on a 24-hour delivery, you'll select a location too. It's auto going to generate your other Z location options are. You pick your A and your Z. You move over and you'll see what bandwidth is actually available between those two for a 24-hour delivery or a Waves on Demand order. You'll hit select. You'll say, "Oh my gosh, what an incredible price for such a unique and transformative offering. Zayo really must be customer friendly." You'll select that, and
that's exactly what I was thinking, Chaz.
Yeah, then you'll
you literally read my mind.
Exactly. You'll call your customer rep and be like, "Hey, I'd pay more for this if you wanted, but I'll still stick with this incredible price." Then you'll actually go through here too. It'll give you your overall order type. Will give you kind of the details too. Within here, you should also be able to see um, beyond your A and Z log. They're also providing CFA as part of this as well too. Your delivery interval, and it's also will generate your KMZ too, which does call it out here too. So you'll get your test results upon order, and you'll get a KMZ of the path as well too. You'll select your term that you want to sign up for the overall contract length. We actually are going to go in here and even show that you can download your test results and KMZ ahead of time too. So if you want to ensure you have route diversity, you want to ensure you have the correct test specs as well, just to kind of confirm all those requirements that you're usually talking to your sales engineer with ahead of time. Once you go through that, you hit submit order, which you'll see here too. They'll give you your estimated delivery interval, which is now as well, which is great. And then as you submit order,
the KMZs, the first time that I walked through this process in the Transact portal, that's one of the things that I was super excited about, is the fact that you could grab the KMZs right there before you even place the order, which, for those of us who have to order waves routinely, that's always part of the chore, is getting the KMZs and what path it's actually going over and ensuring route diversity and all that good stuff. So that made a huge, I was like, oh, that's great. It's like, I don't even have any feedback to give. It's perfect already. So sorry, Chaz, go ahead.
I mean, the overall goal, right, is we're trying to make this just an experience for our customers, right? We don't need, this should be a way to order waves without any other interaction with sales engineering. You can actually self-service all the way through as well too. And then this is the point too, where you get your billing account, you'll put in your additional details, and then you'll essentially sign the order from here too. And then I will say, just because one of Aaron's network engineers might be on here as well, he'll say, why do I have another test account that says we bought waves? Because this, once again, is not fluff. This is real. And I think I have to listen to someone on Aaron's team tell me all the time that this test account keeps buying waves, and I have to keep opening them back up in our inventory as well too. So further confirmation, it's real, because the complaints I get are from our own network engineers, which is still better than complaints from our customers, which is who we're really trying to solve your requirements for.
Awesome. And then one other point I don't think we mentioned, you want to hit on the LOA CFA delivery as well, so that the customers can quickly use the service, Chaz?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it ahead of time, right? So as you order this, you'll actually get your LOA CFA as well. So you'll have all the details you require. I mean, once again, it goes back to all the steps that required something that was either manual or required someone else to confirm, either by Zayo or by your end customer. We are covering ahead of time too.
Awesome overview and walkthrough. Thanks. So yeah, I think it's super slick. I haven't been this excited about a new product offering in a while. I think this is absolutely a game changer for Zayo, and actually for the industry as a whole. So let's quick. I want to turn it back over to Anna real quick, just for your take here before going to Q&A. Anything else you'd want to add about Waves on Demand offering, or your vision for Zayo's future Waves on Demand offering, or NAS in general?
Yeah, in terms of Waves on Demand, this product is unique. It's a first of its kind in the industry. It conveys a very a big advantage to Zayo customers who are using this, so that they can satisfy their customers' demands as quickly as possible. So in terms of growing this product, we're going to be introducing it to more locations throughout the US as time goes on. Hopefully we'll even be able to get some 400 gig in there, because 400 gig is the new 100 gig. And so that's really what I see, is that just expanding this offering, because the main constraint on it right now is geography, which locations you can get the Waves on Demand to. So expanding that And then in terms of other automated features that Zayo is going to go towards in the future, I'll just say that this is a first taste of what's to come. So, and we'll talk about more things when they're real.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. So we've already got near a dozen questions that have come in here to the list. So let's hit them here. I'm gonna call out the first one here by David Dennis, and Chaz, I'm gonna throw it to you. David asks, are the A and Z locations only those 9 sites, or can the Z be elsewhere?
So yeah, I don't think it's 9 sites. It's 8 routes right now, with additional sites beyond that too. So it's only gonna be for those defined point to points for now. As the network continues to expand, we'll add more Z locations. But for the moment, it's just between those A and Zs. And like I said, with a cross connect away to kind of the broader Equinix kind of campus as well too. And then Aaron, I'll also remind you that you can answer some of these questions too, considering you're still a big part of this as well. I'm not going to let you completely subvert away from taking some at least some notoriety here.
Appreciate it. I guess you mentioned the cross connection. We've got a question here from Eric that we'll hit next. As far as any cross connect work where a tech has to provide changes, such as a customer to Zayo NNI, are those included as part of the fast ordering process, or is that a 24-hour turnaround as well? I think we should maybe frame up just kind of how this works after the LOA CFA is delivered. And Chaz, and feel free to add any color, or Adam, from your side, from Equinix's perspective. When a customer orders a Waves on Demand service, in addition to the KMZ and test results, you get an LOA CFA from Zayo. The expectation on the service is that you as the customer order the cross connect, typically via Equinix, to Zayo's provided CFA. Any sort of changes that may occur, should be few, if any. That CFA should be available. If you need the CFA to a different location other than what is delivered, the order may not qualify for Waves on Demand, and we would end up having to approach that on a case-by-case basis. Chaz, anything you would add there?
No, I mean, I think the only thing I'd add too is, Equinix is a really strong platform in terms of cross connects and doing it quickly as well too. So although it might not, as I said, it's cross connect away, and although that might not be a technical Waves on Demand type of offering, it's Waves on Demand plus the cross connect almost on demand platform that Equinix has too, or at least the delivery interval between those as well.
Yeah, and I'll just add that these refer to new services and new ports, and so we would follow our standard process with our customer base, which if you're a customer of Equinix inside of Equinix, you're familiar with. So we're independent but dependent, I would say.
Just to sum that up simply for everybody, yes, you still have to run the cross connects. Still got to do that. Only now it's great because now we can all blame the data center providers for being the slow ones, not the network anymore. So yay.
We'll be publishing Adam's contact information here after.
Yes, shortly after this, if anyone would like to contact him directly.
When customers want to order services, it's a good problem to have. Yep. We welcome all of these customers. Please do call us.
Really great. Let's hit another question here from Lee, and this one probably falls into my shop, so I'll take it direct here. So Lee asks, how do you plan on managing inventory on the 100 gig optics? Great question, Lee. So we have a couple different programs, deployed. One is managing the capacity of the network as a whole. So looking at, the utilization, the run rate, and staying ahead of that and always ensuring that the capacity is there to be able to order and deliver within 24 hours. The other part of it, of course, you know, Anna alluded to it in one of her points, was supply chain, right? And the other program that we've stood up that I think is going to be a huge help for Zayo is an inventory management program. So we now have really solid view of what our current inventory levels are, what our run rates are, what lead times are for manufacturers. We're in direct conversation with our vendors, you know, constantly, you know, weekly, basically. So we can plan accordingly and ensure that we've always got, you know, the hardware. So, you know, Lee called out specifically the 100 gig optics, right? We can always ensure that we've got, you know, the transponders available to, you know, continue to keep capacity in the network, optics available, you know, to be able to enable these services. So those two programs, both the capacity management program and an inventory management program, I think are going to be keys for you know, the ongoing success of the Waves on Demand service.
And just to sort of add a little bit to the future on that, which, by the way, hi Lee, you always have the best questions. I miss them. Is that one of the great things about this is that the longer this program is offered and the more data we get, the more historical demand that we have to go off of and actually make sure that we do have the right capacity in place. So as time goes on, we'll actually get better and better at predicting inventory and keeping that inventory in check because we have historical data there. So it's something that you can look forward to improving over time.
Let's throw one here to Chaz. This one comes from Samuel. Are the routes predetermined, or can a specific route be requested for route avoidance or another carrier for complete diversity?
The routes are predetermined by Zayo in terms of like where it connects an A and a Z, and it's going to be on predefined routes right now. Once again, those routes were also selected to be diverse from majority of the industry as well too. So the hope would be that if it's a Waves on Demand route, and maybe it's, you know, maybe we're trying to find you have, I guess, some critical part of your network that needs additional redundancy. These routes should be good solutions for a myriad of like applications or solutions that are required too. So I wish I could say you can pick an A and a Z and you could traverse 3 or 4 routes right now. That's the intention long term, right? But as of now, it's predefined routes, predefined A and Z locations.
And again, it's just all based on our highest demand routes and endpoints, right? So we're trying to, as we're rolling this out, we're trying to support the as much of our customer base as possible with the routes that they're ordering the most frequent.
Right.
From a person who requests to remain anonymous, this comes in asking, are these true layer 1 wave technology, or is there any layer 2 segments occurring across these links? This is 100% wave. There are 0 packet components in the path, and I appreciate you for asking that question, because I think so many people, when they hear automated delivery of a connectivity service, their head immediately goes to a packet-based service, because that's just, you know, what's been enabled so far in the industry. And this is why this is different, right? This isn't, you know, just marketing. This is a wavelength A to Z.
I'll jump in too, because there's a question too, like, is this a live product? Or I guess the question is, when is this going to be a live product? The answer is this is a live product. That demo was not fluff. It was not a demo just to show you how it's going to work. That is actually how it works today.
Let's see. Let's go to Philip here, who asked, what are the SLAs for this service, specifically availability, MTTR, error rate?
It's the same as our SLAs across our broader network today. Yeah, we still have the same resiliency. We still have the same MTTR. It's all the same. So it's the exact same overall kind of service quality and assurance that we provide today, with an additional value add too in terms of how quickly we can turn it up.
Same service you know and love, just delivered very, very fast.
I thought we weren't doing any marketing fluff.
Well, it has to be a little bit.
You can help yourself. It's all right. I almost did the same thing. I just thought it was funny.
We've got a softball here from Justin, who asked, these are unprotected paths, correct? And Justin, you're absolutely right. Unprotected waves, no protected offering in play here. So thanks for the question and confirmation. Then let's see. The next one will hit Slav, who asked, can 100 gig waves be transoceanic or North American continental only, i.e. between US and global Equinix locations? So I think, the question here is, do we have any waves on demand that are, transatlantic in nature, or, in between countries, and, not currently, and, not on our phase 2 plan, but, our goal is to really be able to enable, this offering across our entire footprint at some point. So thanks for the question, Sloan. Let's see. The next one here from Kyle, and I think Chaz, you already hit this. What's the rollout timeline look like for a live product? And again, this is real, right? Those routes that we have, those 9 routes that we showed in the pre-zone here, and I'll flash them back up on the screen. Anna said, go on Transact, order them now, right? You can go get.
We should have done a special discount for anyone that orders live during the webinar. That would have been amazing.
Right. No, the price is already good enough. We're fine. We also missed the opportunity, Aaron, to be like, how quickly is this live? You can say as fast as Waves on Demand, which is now too. So almost.
Well done.
Yes.
The next one we got from Jeremy, is the rollout of Waves on Demand dependent on the rollout of specific optical gear to enable the capability? Yes and no, Jeremy. I mentioned early on in the webinar how Zayo was investing in our network, deploying a ton of new capability, capacity, and automation into our network. We're doing that with multiple platforms, and it is not vendor dependent by any means. But where we are deploying it is anywhere on our modern 400 gig enabled Waves network. So as we're rolling that out and increasing our coverage with the 400 gig platform, our 400 gig client capable platform, the Waves on Demand could be offered there as well. Then Philip asks, what interface is included in the Waves? He didn't see a place where you could select that. This, Chad, you can add on here, but the best way I've kind of addressed this in the past when this has come up is this is kind of like the Henry Ford model, right? We'll paint it any color you want as long as it's black. So in our initial rollouts of our Waves on Demand platform, the interface is standardized. It's an LR4, single mode handoff. It's in order to be able to scale and make this available, we have to set some standards, and the standards are based around where the super majority of our customers are requiring on their orders anyway. So we think it's a good fit. Anything you'd add there?
You got it. I like to hear analogy.
Here's an interesting one. I don't think it's something that we contemplated, but this is from another anonymous attendee. Can we daisy chain orders together to get between locations? For example, Ashburn to New York to LA, LA to San Jose. And is the customer just responsible for the orders of cross connects in each colo? Chaz, you want to take that one?
You know, I wish I could say that that's a yes right now. But it's something that we are considering as trying to figure out how we can pull all together at this point too. Right now, there's no way to daisy chain and link them together, but it's not something that we haven't thought of and have kind of put at least on the board for our future roadmap. If the anonymous person wants to be a use case to work through requirements, please reach out as well too, because I'd love to kind of work through it with one of our customers as well.
Great. Speaking of working with some of our customers, another anonymous question came in here. Relatively small organization, satisfied with Zayo service. The extra speed and improved latency would be great. So, Chaz, and do you guys see this offering as a service for larger organizations, or is there a trial period where they can see if there's tangible gains from their service? I guess would we only focus this on our larger customers that know this is what they need, or would we open this up for an on-demand, sort of 7-day trial period to see if it's worthwhile for them?
That's a really great question. And it's something that I haven't pondered yet in the context of Zayo, but in general, I mean, that is the SaaS model that everybody knows and loves, right? Is that you can actually try out a service before you commit to buying it. And I think that that's something that we'll very seriously take under consideration, because waves have been historically something that only the very large enterprises purchase, and you have to have a specific, you have to have a procurement person who knows how to go through all of the magical incantations of ordering waves, and you have to have a network engineering staff that's used to deploying these. And as we make these services more automated, I mean, that is the goal, is to get these, and improve, which a wave truly is like I would say a top tier type service, because again, guaranteed path, guaranteed latency, is to get, these higher quality services in the hands of, people who normally wouldn't be able to have the staff to get them. And that's the thing, you don't have to have a industry hardened procurement person to go into the Transact portal and order this anymore. Literally anybody can do it. And so, yeah, I think that that's a really neat request, and it gives Chaz and I something to talk about now.
Cool. Thank you, anonymous attendee, for the request. Let's questions are pouring in here, folks, and just being conscious of time. I doubt we're going to be able to get through them all, but we will absolutely respond where possible here to come back to you guys with answers. But let's keep moving on here. We got a good one from Robert. Can you talk about the prerequisite connection required for a customer to be able to take advantage of the service? Is it targeted at wholesale customers with established NNIs and APIs, or primarily with end users? Anna, you hit on this during your one of your earlier responses. You want to take this question?
Yeah, I mean, it's targeted directly at end users. It is absolutely, it is a user product. And like I said, that anybody can order it. The goal is, especially for products like this, is that it's not just a network engineer that needs to order it. It should be able, a software engineer, your cloud architect, Heck, your accounts payable person should be able to go in and order this. That's how dead simple we want to make these things. Because again, that's part of, back to the previous question of opening this up to smaller organizations, is lowering that barrier to entry is huge. That's one of the things that software enables you to do, is lower that barrier to entry and make it simple and easy for people that don't have that direct expertise. So yes, it is absolutely a customer-based product, or customer target, a product for the customer.
Cool. Let's move on. We got a question from friend Jonathan Mortone. Jonathan asked, if there is a fiber cut on one of the Zayo routes, is there a way to reroute to another path while the service is getting restored? And this is specific to the Waves on Demand offering. Again, this is going to be an unprotected service offering. So no protection mechanism delivered day one. If protection is needed, we do have that option, just not as an on-demand service. Has anything to do with it there?
Yeah, Jonathan, if you want to know more, we can share our Protected Waves offering service too, which I think is a gold-plated type of Protected Wave offering, courtesy of one of Aaron's great network engineers.
We had a few questions come in here. LAN-Fi or WAN-Fi? I'm just gonna came from a couple folks. So this is a LAN-Fi handoff. Apologies, I didn't specify that on an earlier response. And let's see. Can you provide diverse paths for the 9 routes today? Came in from an anonymous attendee. Chaz, I'll kick that over to you.
On demand, diverse paths, no. But do we have traverse paths between every one of those ANZs? Absolutely, yes. And that's what the network was built and designed for. It wasn't to be a single provider. It wasn't to be the diverse provider. It was to be the resilient provider.
Let's go to Robert, who asked, in terms of network as a service, how would a customer turn it off? The terms appear to be 1, 2, 3+ years. Can it be shorter?
So they want like a cloudify type offering?
It is a great question. And I'm surprised it actually took this long to get to that question, because that is the natural next step. Is, okay, great, now that we can get this on demand, can we get it for shorter intervals? And I can tell you that is something that we're already actively thinking about and exploring. And hopefully we'll have something interesting for you.
I agree. This next question comes from Roman here. I think we'll make this our last question, and we'll just turn it over here to the team for final thoughts. So Roman asked, when is the service expected in Europe? Chaz, I'll turn it over to you.
It's under consideration. Like I said, we're trying to solve the needs of our overall customer base. So we go where our customers need this service most too. So we'll get to Europe in short order, and potentially in this kind of phase 3 offering too.
Sorry folks for the if we didn't get to a question that you guys submitted. I'm sure we've got a mechanism here to post responses, and otherwise would encourage you to work with your account rep and sales engineer for any questions or follow-ups on it. This collective team would be happy to respond to through those account reps if you post your questions to them. But we'll try and get things posted. For the sake of time, we've got 4 minutes. So this is going to be a bit of a lightning round. I think conversation was great. The demo was fantastic. I love the questions. So thank you guys for being, for participating with the webinar. I want to pose to the panelists, if there's one thing that you want the attendees to leave with, what is it? And while you guys, gather your thoughts on that, I'll just share mine real quick. And I'll point back to a comment I made earlier. I think the expectations of our customer base in terms of how to order, how things are delivered, just that overall customer experience are changing or have changed, right? And it's going to be critical for the those in the industry to enable that sort of experience for our customer base. And this first step here on Waves on Demand is, in my opinion, a real big first step for the industry and for Zayo on providing that sort of customer experience that I think we've all kind of grown accustomed to. Thanks to the way we're ordering products, if it's the Amazons of the world. So this is something I'm super excited about, and I think everyone should be as well. So I'll open up here to the panelists. And I'll start with you.
Sure. Number one thing I would like everyone to walk away with is the fact that this is available today, right now. We're not speaking hypothetically. The locations, in fact, Aaron, if you want to splash those back up here again, if you can, the locations that they are available, we'll splash those back up so that you can get a screenshot of it. If you miss this opportunity to get a screenshot of it, you can always go back and look in Transact itself and see where these and see the Waves on Demand locations. There's also an additional Plan 6 routes that are coming soon. Again, not hypothetical. This is all available today. The routes we're offering, the routes that are coming very soon. You can go into Transact and order this right now.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think one thing that I want to leave the audience with is, has there been a service that you wanted to enable or a problem you were trying to solve, and the delays in provisioning of wavelengths stopped you from it? Has there been something that you haven't done? Let us know, right? Let this team here know what those problems were, and this could have solved it. Maybe you wanted to enable a large cloud connectivity and just didn't have time to do it. What did you miss? I think it would be interesting to hear those statements, and also the audience to just kind of think through how they could use this service.
Chaz, bring us home.
Gosh, well, I'll just probably supplement what everybody else said too, or I'll state it from another angle too, which is, I think we're very aware of the challenges in the industry today. It's not Zayo specific, it's the industry specific. Well, it's industry wide. And I'd like to at least reiterate that we aren't putting our head in the sand. We're acknowledging those challenges, and we're meeting them head on and trying to take even a fresh approach to it as well too. So I know that sometimes there's frustrations, and I can assure you, Zayo is not putting our head in the sand and telling our customers that they're wrong. We're acknowledging that there's a big problem out there, and we are addressing it with their best foot forward.
Great. Well, folks, we are at time. I want to thank everyone for joining us for the webinar today, and hope you guys found it informative and exciting as we think it is. And any questions, feel free to reach out. The team here at Zayo is always happy to help. And with that, we'll close it down. Thanks again for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.